All right, well, this week's video is a little different, guys. We get asked from time to time, and we see other people asking this, questions about coming camping in the South, specifically like, you know, areas around the Gulf of Mexico, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, kind of anywhere in that South area, close to the coast. How do you prepare for camping down here? What's some of the things that you need? What's some tips, advice, stuff like that? So we wanted to put together a little video. Anybody who lives locally to us that has some advice and things that they want to throw in, feel free to put that down in the comments. Because camping in the South obviously can be challenging, especially in the summertime. So here's our few tips, few suggestions that we have. Hope you enjoy it. All right, so we're gonna kind of break this into sections. One of the first big section we're gonna be looking at is dealing with the humidity. Now, a lot of people, if you're from not the South, you will just look and see the temperatures, and the temperatures are not that threatening. They're high, but they're not that threatening. But anybody here in the South, when we look at the weather, we say, okay, it's 93, it's 97, but what's the humidity at? Because the humidity completely changes the game. It'll take it from 97 and give you a 120 heat index like that. Not to mention the mugginess. It's just, it's the factor. It's the thing that we're combating. If you're planning on coming to the South camping, or if you're starting about camping, temperatures matter, but that humidity is what we're really going to try to help you combat. Now, nothing we're going to show you is going to make this pleasant, okay? Nothing is going to make it camping on a nice crisp fall night, but it helps. First thing, guys and gals, this is going to be for you too, but I'm not an expert in that department.
I don't know if it matters quite as much for us.
Okay, so guys, and I don't just talk about this with anybody, your underwear is going to be
I'm sorry,
the place where this is going to begin. Now, you may say, why the underwear? Well, trust me, 40 years old, lived my whole life here. This is the difference. All right. So if you're going to be camping, your other option would be, I guess, commando, but I don't really recommend commando. So you got, and I'll just show my drawers to anybody. You got just your regular cloth underwear, and as you can tell, these are wore out. So this is right here. I'm going to go ahead and give you the straight up. You come out here with these on a camping trip, guaranteed to get what we call a swamp butt. Okay, you will be itching, you will be absolutely miserable if you come out here with this. Now, recent technology has changed the game, but up until a while, commando was about the only option, or just get it. There's some products out there, we don't have any on hand, I don't think, to show you. Boudreaux's butt paste, the monkey butt powders, stuff like that help you combat the swamp butt issue. But the best thing I have found is the new style underwear that has the breathable holes. It's a different material. It actually wicks the moisture. Wear this, you got a fighting chance. Okay, you got a fighting chance with these, because coming out here and camping in this humidity, this right here makes things a little bit easier. Actually helps take some of the edge off. So underwear is important.
Something else you need to be aware of if you're going to be camping in the South is that the weather can be unpredictable. It will literally be dry and 100 degrees in one spot and thunderstorms in another spot. So this is our current radar. It's just little spots everywhere. You know, closer you get to the coast, you'll get a little more.
And that's your typical afternoon.
This is every afternoon. It will rain for 30-40 minutes and then it'll be on its way. Occasionally they can be bad. They can be actual
it can get pretty rough.
You can have lightning, you can have strong winds. So when you are setting up to camp, if it's in the summer, be aware of like dead trees, things like that, because you don't want 40-mile-an-hour gusts to take you out.
Just prepare for rain. Best case scenario if you're camping in summer, just assume even on days when they say there's not a much chance, there's not a chance.
They always have 10% chance.
It's still a possibility
all the time.
It's just that's just
because
summer.
It's
summer
like
in the
kind of
South.
sprinkling on us
Yeah.
right now, but we would consider this as nice because it's blocking the sun a little bit. So
Yeah. Depending on what part of the summer you're camping down here, critters as far as snakes, spiders, yellow jackets, wasps, all that stuff is a factor. And all of it can ruin a camping trip in a heartbeat. So be aware. When it comes to snakes, as far as venomous snakes goes, you've got your water moccasins are always a big issue. Copperheads are a really big issue, and rattlesnakes. Mostly what we see is copperheads and moccasins. Coral snakes are also, I have lived here for 40 years, I've never seen a coral snake. Not saying they're not here, I've just never seen one. So mostly what I run into is copperheads and water moccasins.
water moccasins are also called cottonmouths.
Cottonmouth water moccasins.
Cottonmouth, that's one snake.
There is another species that, like just your general water snake, that looks a lot like a cottonmouth water moccasin. This is what a moccasin looks like, and the difference is going to be in the head. This is what a moccasin looks like. This is what a general water snake looks like. That's where you tell the differences in the head. Their markings, their bodies, all look very similar. But your copperhead here is, to me, probably one of the prettiest snakes in the world. They are absolutely gorgeous, but they will ruin your life. So stay away from them.
They look like autumn leaves.
Yeah, they are gorgeous, but they are very, very venomous. And then, of course, you got all your rattlesnake snakes out there, and rattlesnakes are no joke. Usually, a lot of times, you'll find your rattlesnakes like in the pine. If you're in a lot of pine trees, which is what we have a lot here in the South Mississippi, the rattlesnakes seem to like the pine tree areas. But I would encourage you to familiarize yourself with the non-venomous snakes, because that's more than likely what we see mostly. You've got your king snakes, you've got your black runners, as we call them, you've got your rat snakes. All of these guys you're more likely to see. Usually just about every time we go camping, we see one of those guys. And we like to leave them alone. Don't mess with them. So familiarize yourself. A lot of people will say the only good snake is a dead snake. I would much rather have a king snake in my yard than a bunch of rats and venomous snakes, because that's what king snakes actually eat. So we like to leave those guys alone. Just, they'll usually go on about their day, won't mess with nothing on that front. Now, if you come later in the summer, like right now, it's July, just kind of kicking off July. As this month progresses, they're already out in small form. They're going to get
she's gonna grow.
ginormous. We call them banana spiders, golden orb weavers is what people call them. Aliens from another planet is what they grow into. They get humongous. Late July, August, September, all the way up until our first frost, they are everywhere. So if you're hiking, they build their nests are humongous, and the spiders are huge. So I don't do any bush hogging. I don't do anything like that because I don't like spiders. I'm not a spider person. But I've heard they have an extremely painful bite. Don't know because I don't get nowhere near them to let them bite me. But those guys will be out. And of course, as always, black widows, recluses, brown recluses, that kind of stuff.
Those tend to kind of hang around like structures.
Yeah.
They're in structures that are not frequented.
Debris, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So as far as critters are concerned, that's what you got to run into. Animal wise, you got your armadillos, your possums, your raccoons. You may run into those guys, but they're, you let them do their thing, they'll let you do your thing, whatever. So
I don't think they really mess with people when they're camping.
And if you're camping, like a lot of times, if you're camping very remote, like DeSoto or Bienville or something, you may hear coyotes at night. Just listen to them. They're not going to mess with you. Just enjoy the racket that they can make.
Something that'll help if you're camping is a portable fan. We just purchased this, and we're actually going to test it out today. But this is a Ryobi?
Close enough.
Ryobi? Anyway. Little fan. We got this there on sale right now. They're doing like a promotion where you get 2 batteries and the fan for $100. So we got one of these. And feel that? I'm asking them. Do you feel?
Oh.
I know that they don't, but it's got several settings. It's supposed to, on low, they said that this one battery should last like 6 to 8 hours on low, so.
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out tonight when, you know, when we're camping to see just how good this thing does. Or
anything you can do in like your tent and stuff just to get air moving. Because in a tent, it just gets so just that stagnant, humid air, and it just really gets miserable. But if you can just get air moving like with that, it can really make a big difference.
This thing does this too. Like it can go any direction, which is really nice. So
we've tried like the little small battery pack fans that do like C batteries and stuff, and they just don't last. They never hang up.
And they're 4 inches around.
Yeah, and even with a tent being as low, like you don't feel it. So with these, really believe that's going to be a big improvement right there. Just being able to get air moving can make a big difference for you. All right, so kind of continuing with our critters stuff, bugs and whatnot. Bugs are a factor. They do play a role. We got a lot of mosquitoes, stuff like that. So your general bug spray products like Skin So Soft, citronella candles, the little bracelets that you get, that stuff works fairly well. It's better than nothing. Bugs are an issue. One of the worst bugs is going to be red bugs, chiggers, as some people call them. Usually if you're hiking, out walking in some relatively tall grass, possible to happen, they can make a camping trip absolutely miserable. So the best thing for them is long pants, high socks, all this kind of stuff. There is stuff, we get this at Walmart, just chigger bite relief. It's just a thick cream, smells kind of good, that you put on the spots. Like I said, you can get this at Walmart and it lasts for a while and it does help. Side note, off the record, all right, if you have a red bug bite, I'm not giving this as medical advice, spray the spot with Lysol and it works like a charm. I don't recommend spraying yourself with Lysol, but if you get a red bug bite and some Lysol happens to get on it, it actually does help relieve the itch. So quite a bit. And it burns like the dickens, but it helps. So
we are not medical doctors. We cannot provide you with medical information. You said at your own risk.
Trick we know around here. Yeah. As far as poison ivies go, it's everywhere. Poison ivy, poison oak, sumac, whatever you want to call it, all those different varieties are everywhere. And some people are more allergic than others. So this stuff right here, your general stuff right here, is going to help with that.
I'm significantly more allergic to poison ivy than you. Get more chigger bites. I get more poison ivy.
The red bugs love me. It's crazy.
One benefit to these kind of things is it does say like insect bites, poison ivy, things like that. They work on anything that's itchy. Yeah. So you can spray these. I like the sprays a lot better than the creams. They're easier to do, especially if you're out and about. You can just, and then you're good to go. Technu's a good brand. Ivy Dry's a good brand. And Ivorest. Is he scared because of the weather?
He hears it raining.
He's expecting it to thunder. He's scared of it. But these are super helpful. Throw one in your bag. Keep an anti-itch with you. Because there's something out there that's going to make you itchy. Yeah. We have other little bugs called no-see-ums is what they're called. And they're kind of like gnats, but they're smaller than gnats. And they're called no-see-ums for a reason.
We got gnats too.
We do have gnats, and they bite. The no-see-ums are very, you'll look like a freckle, but they'll bite, and those are pretty itchy too. We're not making it sound fun to camp in the summer in the southern states.
If you like a challenge.
It is challenging. Yeah. Bring lots of water. You will feel your sweat. I've been in the desert in New Mexico and stuff like that, and you sweat and you don't even feel that you're sweating. But in South Mississippi or near the Gulf of Mexico, you're going to be sweaty and you need to replenish that with water. So definitely bring at least a gallon of water for yourself a day, especially if you're going to be out in the heat. Mm-hmm. And then if you're planning on camping, I know a lot of people who do cross-country camping. If you're going to be camping through southern Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, all of these places in the southern states right near the Gulf, camp a couple of nights and then get a hotel room for a night or two. It's just the truth is that your body's going to need to detox from the heat, and know the signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. That's also very important because things as simple as like a headache can be the start of heat exhaustion.
Yeah, I paint houses, and a couple of weeks ago, I got too hot, and I'm out here in it all the time, and it's happened before, and it will do it when you don't think it's gonna happen. I was working, I was as hot as I always am, I didn't think anything about it, but once your body starts shutting down, like it starts shutting down fast. So stay hydrated. That was my big issue. I was not drinking water. I was trying to get a job done real fast and just was being very naive. But keep water going in, set in the shade, because you will just sitting there, your body would just be dumping water. The humidity is just gonna make you sweat profusely. So, which I guess obviously wear deodorant because you're gonna stink.
Some of the symptoms: headache, nausea, dizziness, chills, having you'll actually have a fever, you'll be hot, you'll stop sweating, things like that. If you start getting to those situations where you start running a fever when you're out go to the emergency room because you're past the point of I'm just too hot and you're in too dangerous territory.
You try to do, if you're hiking or going to be out, do as much as you can in the morning, or wait till late in the afternoon, right before dark. It's much easier. Take that middle of the day to find a good swim hole. There's plenty of those here in the South. Find somewhere good to go swim and cool off during the middle of the day. Reserve your hiking and your really outdoor, away from water activities till in the early morning and late afternoon. And
the other day it was 11:30 in the morning and our temperature was already at 99.
Yeah, it heats up fast.
It heats up fast.
But usually early in the morning, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, it's usually very doable.
Yeah.
But once the sun gets up in the sky, it really heats up fast.
Because of the humidity level that we do keep here, because the Gulf is constantly putting moist air all over us, our temperatures they're not drastic changes.
Yeah.
So that it doesn't drop in the evenings. So it'll be 89 degrees at 9 o'clock at night, and you won't see a massive drop in temperature until 3 or 4 in the morning. Yeah. And then even then, like I think the low for tonight is like 74, which is not cool. It's still warm.
That's probably our biggest warning with all of this, with bugs and snakes and poison ivies, is the heat and humidity. That's probably the biggest preparation for camping down here in the South. It's that.
Warm.
All right, guys. Well, that's what we have. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
Is a portable fan. Let me say that again because I didn't say it right. Quit watching First 48. Come, let's do this. Let's do this show. Let's do this stuff.
And the sun's back out.
Didn't mean to do that.